Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, and Austin Butler.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Welcome to Mexico. Are you excited about with you?
We have to choose our battles.
We love you, Josh. We love you. But guys,
I
how
love
does it
you
feel?
too.
Te queremos mucho. It's we love you in Spanish. So, guys, how does it feel to be back in this amazing cinematic experience? I don't know who wants to answer first. Maybe Timothy?
Well, for me, it's a dream come true. As Denise said, I feel like the first film was sort of laying the foundation for this film. I'm hugely proud to be up here. These are all people I admire deeply, genuinely. So I'm just enjoying every moment of this. This is, I'll be lucky, and I hope to be in more great movies, but I'll be lucky to be in a movie, you know, this good ever again.
It's amazing you started in Mexico City.
I'm very happy to be in Mexico City, and thank you for having us.
Zendaya?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more to say. It's the same feeling. I feel so incredibly grateful, you know? It's something so special, and you really feel like you're a part of something that means something to a lot of people. Obviously, the book means something to a lot of people, and there's such a legacy there, and I feel you know, just incredibly honored to be part of something that means so much to Denis as well. And you can feel that heart and that joy every day we were on set. So yeah, just being here, being with all of you guys are so nice. and loving, and the energy is really beautiful. So yeah, I'm just, yeah, it's a dream for sure.
Welcome to Mexico too.
Thank you.
And Josh, are you excited of being back?
Oh, you want me to speak?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I would love to hear you.
Honestly, in all seriousness, I think that the only inaccuracy that Denis said is that he is born to do every movie that he's done. He's just getting better. It's just true. The talent is growing, and he challenges himself. And there's very few. Stop! Don't talk. I'm talking. There's very few directors that continue to challenge themselves, especially with the growth of their celebrity. And I've never seen somebody go so deep with their work, and it's wonderful. Because Sicario was a masterpiece in itself. Dune 1 was a masterpiece in itself. Something happened here. I don't know what, but I think everybody feels it, so it's wonderful. It's nice to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. Let's give them an applause for this perfect warm-up. And I will start with questions from my colleague, Minerva Rueda, from Filmophilia, has a question for Timothy. Could you please elaborate on the evolution of your character from the first film to this one? What differences did you find in Paul in Dune Part 2?
Well, I feel like at the beginning of the first movie, you know, Paul's literally behind walls and sort of has a royal background, and I think is virtuous in some way, but hasn't been tested at all. He's literally the son of a duke. Obviously, personal tragedy befalls him over the course of the first movie. He finds himself on the run at the end of the first movie. Without giving too much away, even though everyone here saw the movie today, right? So, spoilers have happened. But I think by the end of this film, we see someone who's not only stepped into his manhood, into his adulthood, but is almost accepting a leadership position that he's very reluctant to. You know, is sort of wanting to embark on a different path to Chani, where he'd be taken as he was, and instead destiny calls him, and he can't refuse his destiny.
Amazing, thank you, Timothy. And Zendaya, sorry for my bad pronunciation.
Okay.
I'm Mexican.
She's used to it, I'm French Canadian.
Well, Paolo Ortiz from Estilo DF, we can finally know more about your character in this movie. How do you like, but what do you like the most about playing Chani?
Oh, that's a big question. I would say What do I like most about playing Chani? I think what I really appreciate that Denis brought forward with Chani in this iteration, I think, is really giving her strong convictions and a real strong sense of self. And I think for me, that was enjoyable as an actress because it made the whole love story much harder and more difficult, which means we had to earn it. And their love isn't given. It's something that they, they have to work for. And she comes into it extremely guarded with a lot of pain surrounding what Paul really represents in her life. And so I think for me, it was exciting because I was like, oh, there's this internal, constant dialogue I think she's having with herself over whether or not she should allow this person in, and whether or not it is safe to love. And I don't know, so the love story was interesting to find with someone who is so intensely fierce and strong and guarded for good reason.
Amazing. We love Chani in this movie. And we have two special guests too. Two new characters that are here today, Florence and Austin. And we have a question from Lucy Duran, the Mujer Ejecutiva. So guys, how did you come to the project, and how was it to join this amazing cast? Ladies first.
I came to the project after the first movie came out, obviously. I think we have a very unique position, which is that we got to fall in love with the movie as everybody else did, as the world did. We got to see not only just how incredible the story was and these characters were and this world was, but we also got to see just how important it then became to so many people. It was a phenomenon, like it literally was a ripple effect. So not only was there that going on, and then there's a conversation of a second movie, like the idea of being in a second movie was then basically like the best gift ever, because we knew what we were walking into, and we knew that it was very, very special that we were able to walk into it. I watched the first movie, and I remember chatting to my team and just gassing about it. It was just like, I hadn't seen anything like it for such a long time. And basically all of us were pleading that if there was ever anything to do with the second, could I be a part of it? And then I had a wonderful coffee with Denis when I was in LA. And then the rest kind of followed, and then I was able to go and be a part of this world, which is still crazy. Like, to be a part of this press tour, it doesn't really feel real. It feels like a gift. It feels like we've been given this unique opportunity to go to, like, I don't know, I've said it before in press, but like adult Disneyland. It's like, not only did we get to go to set, but we're now like in it and talking about it. And it truly is such a special feeling being a part of something that will mean a lot for a very, very long time, to a lot of people for a very, very long time. So yeah, I think I'm just like soaking all of this up and making sure I'm awake and I'm remembering it all. And it's really pretty fucking cool, actually.
It is. And Austin?
Yeah, I feel the exact same way as what Florence was just saying. The gift of being able to see the first film, and I've been a fan of every one of Denis' films before I am, and then to see Dune and know the scale and the texture and the feeling of it and the intensity and the beauty. It was one of those things that I thought if I ever got a chance to be in something like that, I would do anything to be a part of that. And then our wonderful casting director, Francine Maisler, connected us. And so Denis and I had coffee, and we just talked for hours. And coffee seems to be, that's the trick.
A good way to get a job.
I'm a cheap date. They buy your coffee. All right. Get a card.
Yes, we had a glorious coffee. And then we started going on the journey together. This was such a fun character to get to dig into. Maybe the most fun I've ever had, because there's so much possibility, and so yeah, we had a blast. I feel endlessly grateful.
And I think you clearly had an incredible transformation. So could you please elaborate about playing this antagonist?
Yeah, our first conversation we started talking about, one thing I remember you saying to me was Denis' vision was to have Faye being physically imposing in some way, and so I knew that there was going to be a lot of training involved, and then that changes the way that you walk, and it changes the way that you feel in your body, and when you have more weight on you, you feel different, when you feel more rooted to the ground, and so that was the start, and then I was figuring out how he fights, and so working with our wonderful stunt team and with our Kali instructor in Los Angeles to do knife training, and that became another one of the keys in, and then it was really just finding how my fear was to end up playing a caricature in some way, and so to find the childhood that leads to somebody becoming like Fate, the brutality that he grew up in, that the violence being power, and having somebody like the Baron as your ultimate view of power, what that does, what you end up soaking in, and so then that changed, what I did vocally with it and that sort of thing. So you just find all those little keys in, and then we get on set and we just play, and it was so much fun.
It was impressive, I gotta say. And Florence, what could you tell us about your character without spoilers?
It's everything.
Tell you everything. Well, I play Princess Irulan, who is the fantastic Christopher Walken's daughter. He plays the Emperor, I'm not actually his daughter, just in case. I think something that I really, really loved about her is, I don't think I've ever played a character as quiet as her before. I'm usually really grabbing hold of someone that is feisty and opinionated and loud and bullshit, and I think probably for the first time I'm playing someone that is unbelievably calculated, and you're not quite sure what's going on in her head at any given time. And I loved reading that in the script. I loved the way that it watched her watching. Like, you were never quite sure what she was clocking onto, what she was listening to, what she was taking note of, until the final scene when you realise that actually she's probably been aware for a long time. She's an exciting role because I know that it ends on a ... And I think for any actor, having a character that only kind of breathes potential of what's to come next is the most thrilling thing, especially when you're in a cast like this. Zendaya and I have been talking for the last week about how excited we are to see what happens, and how we'd love to be a fly on the wall to see what happens between them. So yeah, I think for me, I kind of had the perfect bit where I came in for a month and then I got out. So I got to absorb everything. I got to watch everyone that I love. I got to be around this cast that I've admired for such a long time. And then I don't know what happens next. So yeah, it was a real pleasure, and a real pleasure playing someone like Princess Irulan.
Thank you, guys. It's amazing to have you. Te queremos, Hugo. No sé dónde estás, pero te queremos. Well, I have another one for you. I hope you like it, because it's my question. Okay, so Paul Atreides is the leader of the Fremen, but Denis Villeneuve was the leader on set. So how would you describe Denis as a leader of such a mind-blowing and breathtaking film? You like my question?
Thank you very much.
Yay!
I mean, didn't I
Do you want me to get out of the room?
I do, actually. Can you turn your chair around like I did? Like I had to? There's very few... Oh, man. I'll start crying if I do this. Oh, stop, man. There's very few filmmakers that show up when you have a love of film like I have. When you grow up and film is your friend, film is your teacher, film is your mentor. And then a director comes by once in a while. My father, mistakenly, as a horrible parent, took me at 11 years old to see Apocalypse Now, and it changed my life. He didn't know it was going to change my life. I think he was trying to destroy me at the time, but it changed my life. There's certain movies that you see, and then to actually be a part of that process with great directors and directors that can do intimacy along with scope is very, very, very rare. So there was nothing about this process of making Dune that didn't feel intimate. And that takes a very special person that I think Denis is very, very much. He's totally socially inept. He will have no idea what to say to you during coffee. But man, can he direct a fucking film, huh?
Thank you. That's sweet. I love you,
I think he thinks that this is someone that she can allow into her life, and somehow he finds a way in. And I think that what I do appreciate to what Josh was just talking about is there is a way that Denis, amongst all the glorious scope of the movie and the epicness, found these tender human moments that oftentimes were just done in what he calls glance passes, which is just like, hey, just look at each other, just look at each other from across the room, and that might be enough. And there are all the moments between the moments where they're not saying anything at all, that helped us to build something strong. And I think we all felt like we had to earn this love story too. It wasn't something that was handed to us either, and so along with them fighting for it, we had to fight for it too. And yeah, I think it's an incredible, for her to trust it all is one thing, and when she does, we'll see. Well, I can't really say what happens, but there's it's heavy. Yeah, it's not an easy thing.
So they're telling me we have one last question. You go, Timothée.
Fair enough.
You're blushing,
Fair
so
enough.
you have one.
I got it. I mean, it's just, I can't tell the full story. I mean, there was, the schedule had it so there were a few nights that Austin, Zendaya, Florence, and I were actually together in Budapest, but there was one night they were actually all together, so we all went out to a Japanese restaurant together. We all kind of got to know each other, and I can't tell. I can't tell the rest of the story, man. I just think it's gonna get lost. Darnell, do you want to tell the rest of the story? No. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's the worst story ever. I apologize.
We love it. We love it.
We had a nice dinner together.
Yeah.
There's a good moment between Florence and Austin, but anyway, I'll let them tell it if they want.
Come on, Austin.
Florence has a great story.
No, I can't. I'll get chucked off the stage.
Okay.
Anyway, point is we just like each other, and that's all we need to know. We just like each other. We had a great time. We love working with each other, and we'll keep our stories to ourselves.